Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your Monday morning moment. I want to start by thanking the Goals for Life game, www.goalsforlifegame.com, because we're here to support them. And it is because of the goal setting that I'm here today talking to you about what I think is going to be a fascinating topic for you. So, what happens when we have an event in our life that kind of pisses us off, right? Upsets us, puts us on the wrong track. Someone says, ruined my day because X and so happened. Put me in a bad mood. Or I'm in a foul mood. I'm just in an upset mood. I'm in a disturbed mood. We have these moods that are triggered by external sources. And what happens is moods can linger. There's something called a refractive period where we have an emotional event. It impacts us. We get into a mood. And then we allow that mood to linger. That mood goes on. And so what happens is days later, someone might say, "Hey Arnold, you seem kind of down. What's going on?" "Oh, yeah, 6 days ago this happened and it's just put me in a mood and I'm just dealing with that. I'm in a mood right now." Okay, well, what happens when that lingers and that persists even longer? If it becomes weeks or months, then people might say, "Well, Arnold's really got the cynical temperament." Yeah, well, 8 weeks ago, that happened to me, and it's just really, changed my whole attitude, and now I just have these feelings about that. Well, that temperament can persist and can go on for years, and then that becomes part of your personality. Then the comment is, Arnold's just cynical. He's just jaded. How does we get ourselves into that position? And is it simply relegated to emotional states? No. Thought habits form in every area of our life. And that's how a mood can become a temperament, can become part of our personality. And the thought habit around it can be in anything. I've recently lost weight. Let's take weight loss as an example. I got in a mood at some point in my life with an emotional event that I dealt with it with food. And then dealing with things with food became part of my temperament. And then dealing with things with food became part of my personality to where I became someone who used food to feel better, regardless of the situation. So such that anytime I started to feel a little emotional distress, first thing I go to is food, to where I had a mental image of myself as somebody who was overweight because I knew food was my go-to. So now I want to make different choices around food. And let's say it's different choices around health, around money, around relationships, around anything. I want to choose differently than my habitual thought pattern. What that's going to do is going to trigger two things. First, in my mind, I'm going to say I want to choose something differently. However, this thought habit is not just mental. See, our bodies get involved. When we have a mood, a temperament, a personality, our bodies and our physiology get involved with these feelings because our body thinks in feelings. It's sort of a secondary mind. So our body has a sensation in it somewhere and produces a chemical response. Generally, it's a fear-based response because we're adapting to that fear. However, the point is the body has a response, we get a physical feeling, we get a chemical hit, it co-aligns with a thought, and now we have a habit so that when a thought arises, I'm in this situation again, our body automatically responds by giving us a feeling and a chemical hit. So when I want to choose differently, when I'm eating healthy and my body's changing and I'm feeling good and all of a sudden I want a candy bar, my body produces a feeling and a chemical hit before my brain has the thought get the candy bar. My body's driving that train. So suddenly I can't stop thinking about the candy bar because my body is craving, hey, get back into that same feeling. It's comfortable over there, I know that. This change is uncomfortable. When we do something different, we're outside of our comfort zone, and our body, those thought habits are going to want to get us back to comfort. And oftentimes, comfort is not where we want to be. Comfort is not in growth. Comfort is in decay a lot of times, particularly when it's an aspect of health, relationship, money. If we want to change our status quo, then we don't like the status quo. So our body's desire to keep us there is in fact a hindrance. So notice in yourself, whatever you're working on, Whatever goal you have set, when you get into that discomfort zone and something tells you just don't get out of bed today, just sleep in a little longer, just don't do that project at work, just don't sit down and flesh out those ideas for that new business idea you have, just don't take that course to get that skill you want, just don't go to the gym today or go do that exercise, just don't have that meal that's healthy, have the unhealthy one. When those thoughts come up, ask yourself, is this moving me towards my goal? And if it's not, stay with the discomfort. Acknowledge, I'm feeling uncomfortable right now, and I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to move through it. That feeling will change. And by taking the action that's positive, taking the action that moves you towards your goal, you're going to have some positive reinforcement. And once you move through that moment, you'll get on the other side not only feeling good about yourself, but having a win to look back on as a resource to say, I know I can do it because I just did it in that moment. So today it's all about moods, temperaments, and personality, how they tie together. Go out there, get yourself in a great mood, do one thing today that moves you towards one of your goals, and you'll have that win. And this has been your Monday Morning Moment.